Thank you, Renay, so much for being with us today. It's always a
No,
pleasure to see you and
you
to talk with
too, of
you.
course.
Yeah, can you just start off by telling us a little bit about who you are,
Yeah,
where you work?
who am I? Where am I?
Deep questions.
Right? Renay Dossman, the president of the Neighborhood Development Center. We support entrepreneurs, primarily low-income entrepreneurs, with training, um, technical assistance, if you will, helping them start their business, a business plan, which is crucial, marketing, branding, all of those things. And then we are also a community development financial institution. So we're a lender, and we do our loans based more on your character and your commitment to community than your credit score. And then finally, we have incubators for our entrepreneurs, so real estate, and where they can start their businesses and grow and all of those great things. And our largest incubator is the Midtown Global Market.
Love the global Midtown
Right? Like,
Market.
shout out to the market.
Woo! Yes.
Right?
Shopping, eating, all of the
Yes,
things.
all authentic, all from all the different cultures. So
Absolutely.
we feel really we co-own the Midtown Global Market with Cultural Wellness Center. So
That's amazing. So,
yeah.
Renay, what has the last 2 years been like
Oh my
for
goodness,
you all, for the entrepreneurs that you work with?
girl. In all honesty, I started with the organization about 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago. And, I had all these plans for what we were going to do, how we were going to, work through our strategic plan. We had a new one. And then COVID hit, and we had to change like everybody else, right? We're instantly working from home. We instantly put all of our all of our trainings were then online and Zoom, and we were working fast and furious to get money out to the entrepreneurs because access to capital at that time, especially, and to be honest with you, a lot of them weren't able to get like the funding that was coming out because maybe they couldn't get their financial documents pulled together fast enough, and the money was going like that. So we're like, like everybody on the team became lenders, if you will, and we're working with outreach to reach our entrepreneurs. So we were just running fast and furious. And one of the things that I noticed, I had an encounter with an entrepreneur at the market, and I was talking, and I was like, "You're not here," and it just dawned on me that this person needed some mental resources, right? Some mental health resources. And so we actually started a program called Mindset Reset to help our entrepreneurs. So we started Mindset Reset, we did Tech Pack, and we use that Mindset Reset work to also do it for our team. Because if you think about it, we're rolling, and then there's the murder of George Floyd.
Yeah.
And so my team, I just remember, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, first of all, I didn't know what to do with COVID, and I surely don't know what to do after this because I'm dealing with my own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We're all in it as humans.
Yeah.
Too.
So it's just long answer to a short question. It's been extremely difficult, but I'm going to tell you something. I feel so hopeful. I do. Because I just love how people have shown up.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing this and it's hard. Like somebody said to me, hard things are hard, and they are.
Yeah.
But you're doing this work, and then people like your organization
Aww.
shows up along beside us, and brings in reinforcement.
Yeah.
Not only did you show up, but you brought some people along, right?
Yes.
So then we're all in this together, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
And Midtown Global Market, you mentioned the civil unrest.
Yes.
You were basically sort of on the front line of
We were.
that experience.
They tried to burn it down.
And it's still standing.
It is still standing. We had entrepreneurs and people, there's condos above the market, and they came out and they formed a human chain around the market and kept it safe.
That's amazing.
Every night.
Wow.
And they patrolled. So I remember when everything happened, and I went the next day, and I'm thinking, I don't even know if the market's going to be standing here, because I kept getting the reports. And I got there, and it was not only was the market standing, there were all these people helping, cleaning up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is what we're about. And I understand it. I understand the rage. I understand it. I feel it daily.
Yeah.
But I was like, these entrepreneurs, like, they've just suffered so much with everything. And so, you had your moment, I had my moment, the teams had their moment, and then we just get right back to work.
Absolutely.
Because we can't take our foot off the gas. This is too important.
Yeah.
Too important.
And I think for everybody, we understood that there were many things bubbling under the surface that, George Floyd uncovered, not only for us, but for the world. And, some of the systemic inequities that we as a community face. How do you see those inequities and those things play out in your work at NDC?
Oh, yeah. You see it all the time, right? Like, that's why we exist, is to bridge that gap, right? These entrepreneurs, they're not asking for a handout. They're just asking for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so getting them access to capital, getting them the training that they need, removing the barriers and the roadblocks so that they can start. When you start a business, first of all, that's bold, right? That's courageous.
Yeah.
And I was at a graduation last night, one of our graduations for one of our training classes, and there was a speaker, and he was from our program, and he said, there was nobody in my family that had ever owned a business or thought about owning a business. I didn't have a roadmap, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have a blueprint on how to do this. And so that's what we provide at NDC. We provide all of those resources, complete wraparound services to help you start your business, have your business grow and thrive, but then it builds generational wealth. That's the trick, right? Like, how do we help build generational wealth? How do we educate people that don't have anybody in their family that's like, you want to start a business? Here's, $1 million. Here's $50,000, right? Like,
right.
So it shows up in how fast. I'll give you an example. How fast that PPP money went the first round. How fast it went. And it went fast because there were people that were literally waiting with their accountants, could get into the system, get the money fast. And it wiped it all out practically.
Yeah.
And then they figured out for the second round to give a window of opportunity for community development financial institutions like us so that we could get in there and get our entrepreneurs processed so that they could get access. Right. But if you didn't have all your paperwork lined up, if you didn't have technology, if you're just trying to do it on your phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, girl,
we all learned.
I could go.
We applied for those PPP.
Yeah,
loans,
you
right?
guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is. You need certain things in place to really, walk you through those steps, and it's not always intuitive. So.
And if you don't have a relationship with the bank, because you're unbankable.
Yeah.
So it's there, but what?
Yeah. Well, I loved what you said about everybody sort of showing up. And I guess one thing that I'm just curious about is sort of the role that people can play in supporting you. I mean, you have this amazing mission and you're doing this incredible work. And I'm like looking on the outside, how do I, really support the work that you're doing? How can people continue to stand behind you, the entrepreneurs, and support you?
Well, first of all, thank you, because you do support us. And your organization, Hands On Twin Cities, has shown up in such a beautiful way, and we're really grateful for that. Because you didn't show up and say, this is what you need. And you showed up and said, how can we be of service, to you? So I think, the main thing is shop and support these Black entrepreneurs, these Latina entrepreneurs, Indigenous, Asian, Hmong, all of them, like support these BIPOC entrepreneurs, right? So that's one thing. Go to the Midtown Global Market, spend your money.
Eat delicious food.
But I always say, my team, they're so amazing, right? They just give daily. No, seriously, it is amazing. But the thing that I think people forget is you can just use your natural gifts and talents. We don't need you to make something up. I don't need you to come to the market and try to be something that you're not or help us. We have an incubator that's on the east side of St. Paul that's for the construction and trade businesses. If you have a talent that's your talent, you're a general contractor, you're a great carpenter, come with what the gifts and talents that you have, and we can figure it out, right? And we'll make space, because there's the cool thing about entrepreneurship is that there's all kinds of businesses.
Right.
And there's all kinds of things that are needed, right?
Yeah,
And our organization, because we do those different disciplines, people that are teachers could help us. People, I mean, like any discipline you have, you could help. So
Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that you said that struck us, and we're always trying to be better, is just listening. So instead, coming in, knowing and understanding sort of what you have to give, but also figuring out the way that the organization really needs you to leverage those skills. And that's been, I think, one of the best things about you are experts in what you do. And so if we can sort of support and bolster where you tell us that you need that support, that's key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem sometimes with volunteers, and you have the best intentions and you really want to help. But I think sometimes you can get in there and obviously, you can see the inefficiencies, you can see that, oh, they don't do this right, or they could do this right, or they could do this better. And that's true. But how do we work together in our timing too? Because we might not be able to move as fast as you want to move, but how can we figure it out together? And I think what you said is key. It's the listening and being in partnership together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any success stories that you want to share about volunteerism and ways that it showed up for you all?
I mean, the biggest, the one that, we've talked about that you helped support us is the Thrivent relationship. I think that was an amazing effort from their organization and a commitment. And they didn't show up with just one or two people to to boil the ocean, right? Yeah. Like they showed up with a team, and a dedicated team and a committed team. And they did a great job of communicating. And they show up with so much heart, right?
Yeah.
And I'd also say, shout out to Target, right? Like I'm a Targeteer. And the way they showed up at the market and helped us redesign our website so that we could tell the stories of the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because they're just amazing stories. So how do we tell those stories? Like if you hear the story, then you want to support this entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So they did that, and then they also helped us redesign or reimagine, and actually had their architects come in and their construction team come in and help us think about how we could reconfigure the market and we're going to create a beauty node, because we discovered you look good today. You could have come to the market and got your hair done. So
I will be there.
You'll be there when we create this beauty node. But we want to create a beauty node with a barbershop and a hair salon and a nail place, because we found that the service businesses they weathered this a little bit better than, say, the restaurants. So if we can build that out and then have, you're in there, and while you're there, you're going to eat, because you're like, this is good food.
You smell it.
You smell it, and it's good. And it's authentic, right? So, thinking about those kinds of things. And then there's the basement level of the market that we haven't thought about from a revenue generation perspective. So they helped us, it was like, oh, duh. So we had Optum that helped us design our Mindset Reset program that I talked to you a little bit about. So we've just had some great partners come along beside us, not to mention just the corporations and the foundations that have supported our work.
Absolutely.
We're grateful. So grateful.
Sounds like you have limitless opportunity.
So
there's plenty for people to do. I love that. So where can people go to learn about your organization, your website?
Yeah, you can go on our website. There should be links there to connect you to volunteerism. You could reach out to your organization. You can connect us. Hands-on Twin Cities.
Opportunities there.
Yes. And just reach out. We have a team that's been put together. We have internships that we're working on, because we found that those are great. If we can do have interns that can do just quick projects. We found that to be helpful. But our website,
Awesome.
Like you can, I think it's even just like info@ndc-mn.org. You could even just do
And
that.
find out about all the incubators
Yeah.
and places people can shop. and
Yes,
support.
please.
Yes.
Yeah,
Amazing.
support our businesses, our BIPOC businesses.
Well, Renee, I'm just so grateful for all that you do, all that your
Thank
team
you.
does. It's just a pleasure to work with you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for being with us for this conversation and sharing how people can get involved.
Thank you so much.
We'll continue our work together.
Thank you.
All
I really
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.